welcome to BuzzBooster.tv.
I'm Shahar.
And I'm Nash.
You know, today we are in Brigham City in a bird refuge.
Bird refuge.
And we just got to this very dry lake.
Very dry lake.
And before I show you what this has to do with your business, I first want to tell you why we are here. And again, actually, because we recorded another show here a month ago or so.
Yep.
Well, first of all, we like to take photography,
Yes.
especially wildlife photography.
Photography?
Yes.
We like
it's very windy. We like wind.
Very windy.
Yeah.
Yes.
We like geocaching, and we like to come here every now and then to take some bird photography here.
Yep.
And we do that with a second intention.
Yes.
To be able to get away and let our brain breathe a little bit other than business.
To leave it at ease, relax.
Yes.
And not tense.
Yes. Sometimes when you just allow your brain not to have to think about business or problems or things like that, you come up with some of your best ideas.
That is right. It's actually very interesting, Shahar, because sometimes, we'll do our meetings at the restaurants. Well, we have an office, but we want to go somewhere different. And so we go to a restaurant, but still, sometimes we just get stuck in that moment and we can't figure it out. It's just not working. Mm-hmm. So then we come out, we go taking pictures, we go geocaching, we do all of these things. Sometimes we're just driving in the car and boop, pops an idea.
Exactly. And even when we don't have an idea, that doesn't matter, because we gave some time for our brain just to rest,
to get our minds off of the problems, off of the trying to figure out a solution, of the trying to come up with a new idea,
or coming up with new products and new services.
Exactly.
We just all tend to get in that wheel actually and not give any time for other things that you enjoy. So you should be doing that.
Yeah. And the other reason why we're here, it's like the conditions aren't exactly perfect. It's super windy. Normally we wouldn't do it, but this is so cool. Mm-hmm. This is a dry lake. We probably aren't even allowed to be here.
Yeah.
Inside the lake.
It's pretty muddy. You can feel that you're sinking.
It is very muddy.
If you only see the top of my head on some minutes, that's the reason. And we also saw a lot of dead fish over there.
A lot of dead fish.
Yeah, and then we couldn't help but really make the connection that, in marketing arena today is pretty much like this.
Yeah.
A lot of people using social media and being there, giving tips, and are seeing exactly the same kind of results.
Yeah.
No water.
Nothing.
Nada. So this brings me to the point that you have to pay attention to two things here.
Two things.
So you don't get the dry land anymore either, or this kind of dry land, right? The very first one is understand the consumer behavior when it changes, and change your strategy accordingly.
And the consumer behavior changes fast.
Mm-hmm. Especially today, right?
Especially today. You have to be looking out for changes.
Oops. Sorry. It fell. Okay.
Nothing happened.
No.
You have to be looking out for changes.
Yeah, and for adapting. So, for example, once you see tools like Pinterest, okay, despite the fact that it's good for your business or not, just think like this. You saw that now the web became visual, right? You're seeing a lot of pictures everywhere. Even if you go to Facebook, you see that people are posting more and more pictures.
Yes,
Why?
yes.
Because the consumer likes the visual.
The consumer likes. We're transitioning from being a consumer that consumes only text and audio, and we're moving more to pictures and images and videos and things like that.
Exactly. And then you have to think, how can I adapt to that? Well, you can start adding pictures to your blog posts, picture to your posts on social networks, or even better.
Wait for it.
You do it.
Web shows.
Yes, have not only online videos, but web shows, just like this one.
But is it complicated?
No, it's not complicated. As you see, we just have a tiny microphone that we are trying to protect from the wind.
And we have a tiny camera in front of us.
That I carry in my purse every day.
In her purse.
And a tripod, and that's it.
She doesn't carry the tripod in her purse, but it stays in the back of the car. When we need it, we pull it out, and that's about it. We set it up, we just put it, we turn it on record, or sometimes we don't. Like actually, we're re-recording this segment because we just did it without pushing record.
Yeah, it happens that
so
too.
This is take two.
But why is this important?
Yeah.
The very first thing is that you are really teaching your audience to come back to you every week. So if you watch our show every week, that's what we are trying to accomplish, that you come back.
Week in and week out.
Yes, we create another level of relationship because after all, you see us in sport clothes, not only the fancy business clothes, right?
I would never go to the office wearing this shirt.
Yeah.
But hey, here we are. You get to see what we like to do.
Yes.
If you like this type of thing, you'll connect with us on a much deeper level now that you know that we're here. And you get to talk. I mean, how much really can you say to people when you're on Pinterest?
Yes, exactly.
Right? It's very shallow conversation.
And here
very
is a
shallow
with no water.
Yeah.
So you see that you really can get a lot out of the web show because you're creating a different level of relationship with your audience.
Yeah.
But much more than that.
Much more. Why?
Is that like you can reach different audiences today.
Yes. How so?
Well, because web shows today, they can be streamed to TV.
Television, regular television.
So with just one show, with just this video, we can be online, reaching the YouTube crowd.
Online, YouTube.
We will be on iTunes as a video podcast.
And iTunes is what?
The biggest search engine of buyers.
Biggest search engine of buyers. I mean, people who are on iTunes are trained to buy.
Yes, they're trained to put the wallets out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and then we get syndicated to traditional TV.
Traditional television, like the real thing.
Yes, the same one that the couch potato watches infomercials.
Exactly. You know the ones that they buy a lot?
Yes, like Nashlah, for example.
No. You fall for that too.
Yeah, she falls for every single infomercial on earth.
Yeah. Well, you know, let's pause for a moment. Let me just tell you one thing. The other night at the hotel, we're watching, and all there is are infomercials. And hey, we stop, okay? Because you can learn a lot from infomercials.
Yeah.
That's why I watch.
No, really, it is true. I'm even reading a book called Buy Now that is all about infomercials.
I was joking. Let me crack a joke. Anyway, so there we are, and it's very enticing. So I say, well, it was kind of pricey, whatever it was kind of pricey. And I told Shahar, well, you know, what if we just split? Because I thought I was the only one into it. I look over and she's like biting her nails.
Yeah.
And what if we just split half and half and we get that?
Yeah, but the truth is that with infomercials, if you did one, you would be spending at least $100,000 for that.
Production plus airtime, you're spending a lot, pretty nice penny.
Yeah, and with a web show, you don't have to have expenses.
No.
You might want a bookend, so the beginning and the end of the show package, but that's about it, and it's one time. So what I want really to advise you on today, because we've been using this for over 3 years and we know that it works, is to think about if you can allocate some of the time that you're using on other social networks that they are not bringing you return and start having your own web show despite the industry you're in.
And despite what everyone is saying, really, sometimes you kind of have to put that on pause and really look at your audience, what the shift in the market is, and see where can I get more fertile ground, where can I get green ground.
Yes.
Right? I mean, listen, the fish, there are a ton of dead fish over here. You can't really see on camera, but it's really kind of amazing. I took tons of pictures because it's so impressive. Well, the fact is, the tides were changing, right? And it was drying up, and the fish, they stayed behind because they were trying to get maybe just a little bit more
it would rain.
Oxygen.
Maybe tomorrow it rains.
Maybe if I went a little deeper in this, I will get a little bit more oxygen to breathe or something.
So they didn't notice the time to move.
They didn't notice the time to move.
You know, just right on our left, there is water. Yeah, even though there's this huge part here that is dry. So, you know, you can stay behind, or you can really go where there's evergreen. Not a lot of competition. Depending on the industry that you are, you don't have competition.
No. Yeah, especially with web shows, right, Shahar? I mean, we're in the marketing industry. There are a lot of people talking about what we talk about. But the fact is that in a lot of industries like accounting, like in the health, construction, consulting, all of those industries that aren't as crowded, especially not online, then you really stand out from the crowd by having your own web show.
Exactly. So I want you to go to Go Far, Go Fast, GoBig.com to know more about this. And before you discard the idea because you think your industry is different, take a deeper look and go check other shows, because here is an opportunity like never before. For you to be reaching 3 different types of audience with just one shot.
That's right. I mean, Shahar
Pardon the pun, shot.
Shahar mentioned it earlier with with being on traditional TV. What she didn't say was, well, these TVs, I mean, we're talking about televisions that are pretty, that are getting a lot of people have, like Sony TVs, visual TVs,
over-the-top boxes,
Panasonic, Samsung,
different ways of being syndicated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Different ways of reaching a lot more people than just if you focus just online. So
yes.
Go far, go fast, go big.com.
So I have a question for you. Are you like JC Penney? No, I know you're not a store, but are you doing the same mistake? Let me tell you a little bit about it. JC Penney decided to rebrand the company from discount store to cool store. So they started doing a remodeling of the store. They spent a lot of money on advertising. They did everything right in order to rebrand the company into something more cool, more hip. What happened after the first quarter? They lost $163 million. The consumer from JC Penney stopped buying. Now, why do you think that happened? After all, the store was cool, looking cool. The prices were fair. They were not giving the coupons and the discounts, but the price was the lowest price possible. And even so, the consumer decided not to keep shopping at JC Penney. Why do you think that happened? A fundamental problem that lots of companies and small businesses have all the time. They forgot to see who their customer really was. Get this, with the discount store and the coupons chase, the consumer that is attracted by JCPenney likes the chase, likes the quest of finding the best deal, of clipping the coupons, of being the first at the store to buy that product at that price, to be able to have a coupon and prove that they paid less than their neighbor. They like this quest, this environment. That's what they are looking for. And although JCPenney had the products at the lowest price possible, it took away all the component of entertainment out of the picture, and it was really not aligned with the personality of their consumers. Small business owners a lot of times tend to forget or not even really know who their ideal customer is. To the core. We tend to know if it's a woman or a man. We tend to know sometimes the age, something between 33 to 45, but we really never narrow down. And when we don't do that, we forget to see who our customer really is. After all, when I say, oh, I cater to people from 33 to 45, I am just showing that I don't know who I talk to on a daily basis, because the way I talk to a 33-year-old is really different than a 45-year-old. For example, that is maybe an empty nester, starting a new career, traveling places. The other one is starting a family, starting a career. So very different conversations going on. We need to know who our ideal client is to the core. Their values, their fear, the things that they want the most, the things that they hate the most, and some of their habits, what they are looking for. Of course, if you make such a mistake, you're not going to lose $163 million in 4 months, but you are going to leave a lot of money on the table, or even go out of business. So don't do what JCPenney did, that did a whole rebranding without ever asking who their customer really was and the things that they liked and valued. Do that first, go market later.
So, Burger King, you're familiar with them, right? The sandwich company, the fast food sandwich. So, the other day, Shahar and I were on a road trip, and we had to stop for lunch, so we spotted a Burger King, and there we went. As I walked in, I was pleasantly surprised by what I found. They actually had a campaign going on with QR codes. Remember the QR codes? Well, here's what they were doing. Essentially, the gist of the thing is you scan the code with your phone and you pay for your meal. So essentially, you don't even need to have a wallet with you, money, check, credit card, or anything like that. Who carries checks nowadays anyway? But anyway, so the idea behind this is this.
they're looking ahead and thinking, well, what are people going to do? As futurists, what is the trend? And the trend is that less and less people will carry their wallets with them, will carry their cards with them. And so the idea behind this is more and more they're going to use their phones to pay for things. And so basically they're embracing this concept, this change in behavior, and they're saying, well, listen, if you don't want to carry your wallet, you can just order here, scan this code with your phone, and you'll pay for it. Because that code, that'll be connected to your Google account or to your Apple account, and whatever it is, it pays automatically through your wallet, through your phone wallet. And so they're embracing that technology like that. And that's I think that's very interesting, because sure, it's something that's still ahead. I mean, people who study these trends are saying that by 2020 people won't be carrying their wallets anymore. Well, 2020 is a little ways away, and yet they're testing this already, because they know their consumer, they know their customer, and they're just trying out these new things to see how they adapt to it and how it will go. So I applaud them for that, for being creative, for using something different, for embracing a new technology.